a touch on the shoulder. We were doing a sacred ritual with a shaman in this central cave in Machu Picchu, and he asked all of us to close our eyes as he was doing a sacred practice. And the second I closed my eyes, I felt someone put their hand on my shoulder. And the first thing I thought was that one of the people who was with us, who was a student of mine, who was also a dear friend, I knew he was kind of an imp, and I thought maybe he was doing this. So I quickly opened my eyes for a second, and I saw that it wasn't him. And I realized that whatever was touching my shoulder wasn't a human being in a material form. And then suddenly what happened is I had this extraordinary lifelike image of this woman who looked like a priestess princess. Very vivid. I could see her very vividly, and I suddenly knew that she was the one who had put her hand on my shoulder. And then I started to rock just like this, not by my doing. And I was rocking like this and rocking like this and rocking like this. And I suddenly realized, and if you knew me, you'd know how funny this was, that I was riding a horse. And I was riding this horse really well, which made no sense to me because I said, like, Incans and horses? I don't think so. That's my conscious mind. But I knew I was riding this horse. And I had my eyes closed, and suddenly I had this sense that I was leading this very, very large group of people. And what I realized before that was somehow I had been at the top of Machu Picchu, and all of these men had come up in these kachina outfits, warrior kachina outfits, and I led them off of Machu Picchu, and I was leading all of these men someplace, and there were countless men. And we were riding and riding and riding and riding and riding, and then we stopped. And what I knew, although I knew nothing of the history of this place, literally like nothing of it, was that we had come to some place where we were fighting some kind of battle. All of these men were in battle garb, and I clearly was their leader in some way. And what we were doing was we were barricading an area. We were surrounding an area. And I had a sense that they had much more power than we did, and I quickly had some sense that they must be the Spanish and that we were actually Incans. And we had surrounded them and blockaded them because they had guns and they had much more firepower than we did, but we had much more men, and we had enough material. And I realized the horses must have been we must have stolen those animals. So we were there, and I could tell we were winning. Even though I didn't know much about what was going on here, I could tell that they were losing ground. But then I had the sense that a lot of those men had to leave. Like they had women and children and they had families and they had to go back, and they said, we can't just keep doing this. And a lot of the men left. And then I had a sense that the Spanish then got the upper hand, because I had a sense was the Spanish, and that somehow they captured me, and the end of the story was very clearly that I was tortured and had a horrendous death.